win of this year's tournament. A good day it is to you on what is a rather cold day in Durban. William Shaw is sitting alongside me. Well, the conditions, once again, are a huge talking point as we look forward to the first game.
Normally, at other instances, we always worried about the condition that it's raining, but it didn't rain much. It only just wet the top of the grass, which is conducive for good, fast-flowing football.
Well, in the history of these two nations coming together, Angola have, for the most part, had the beating of Mauritius, and it's been a fairly one-sided game where they have bet. They have won 4 to go with a single defeat. That has gone the way, of course, of Mauritius. So Angola have looked and will be looking to make it 5 wins in the history of their games against this Mauritius outfit that will be looking for the upset here today in an effort to get their second win against the Angolans. Time now for the singing of the national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you to please stand up for the national anthem of Angola. Mauritius.
Well, both these nations will know just how important today will be, and the conditions are a talking point here. More so the wind, which will be blowing from the right to the left of your picture, across the picture, from the south to the north. It seems to be the direction of the wind here today, and those that will be playing with the wind at their backs will look to make hay of that situation in the first half, and those that will then enjoy it in the second half will look to do likewise. So it'll also be interesting to see how the wind affects the playing styles of both these nations as they, of course, go with or against the wind, whether they'll keep the ball up high, play it down low, and see whether they can get any advantages. Now, in looking at the Angola starting 11, of course, Benafa, their lone goal scorer so far in this tournament. They will look to the likes of Inoke wearing the number 80 jersey to come good in the heart of midfield, whilst Museka and Kaneta could very well be crucial in the attack in support of Benafa.
You look at the formation, obviously, with 3 at the back, or 4 at the back, should I say, and Inoke just in front of the back 4. But what will happen thereafter is all 4 players going forward will be available to assist Benafa as the top man, which includes the quality of the 2 wide players you've already mentioned in Moseka and Kaneta.
Well, for Mauritius side, the whole host of changes in all departments except the goalkeeping department. There will be changes. So Francois and Francis coming into the defensive positions then at right back in the heart of the defense, whilst in the middle of the park, Aristide comes in here to shore things up. Out in the attack, the front 3, we'll see Potla, Francois Marie, as well as Andrew, all coming in amongst the changes.
Normally from the first game you make 1 or 2 changes just to maybe improve what was lacking, but this wholesale change makes it hard for me to think it's a new set of players that will still get to start from a fresh in as far as the combination and understanding of one another, but the coach promised us quality.
Well, we are hoping for quality on a day where the conditions will make it difficult to give us quality. We'll also be hoping for quality from an officiating point of view, where Hilary Hambaba is the Zambian that will be in charge of this fixture. He's supported by Mr. Limbunjani from Namibia and Mr. Baloi from Mozambique. The 4th official from South Africa is Masikole Bambiso. Well, it is the Angolas to get this game underway, attacking the right of your picture. Well, some Mauritius are in the white, and they'll be attacking the left of your picture, Sean.
You spoke about the wind factor.
Yeah.
And Angola will be playing against the wind. And it's a team that is able, technically and tactically, to be able to work through those situations, but more technical this time because against the wind. So they'll have to play the ball on the ground. And because if they're going to try and hit it long, it's not going to go anywhere, as you see this one. So I think that's the message, very clear for Angola. Keep it on the ground.
Well, the Angola is looking to get onto the front foot early. He has the ball in towards the far post. There was a run being made on the blind side. The defense was very much aware of that run and able to deal with the danger. Also, it looks as though the Angola is going against the wind here in the first half. So very interesting to see how that will affect them, as well as the intentions here for a bright early start.
Right from the beginning, I'm really concerned about the officiating here. 2 instances where the Angolan players were pushed off the ball, but the second one for me looked like a definite foul in their favor.
Well, with the conditions, if you add a bit of physicality to this game, things could get very interesting for the officials. So we'll keep a close eye on that as the day does move on.
But good officials in such instances, they'll obviously take that effect into account.
Yeah.
That the slight tackles will be a little bit extended than under normal circumstances. So you factor that in so that it doesn't look so bad. I mean, an ordinary foul will look a bit harsher because of the conditions.
So, Group C, keep in mind of this year's COSAFA Cup as I come to the fore here today at the Princess Makoko Stadium. It's Lesotho that start off the day, of course, leading the group on 3 points. If you haven't been with us since the start of the broadcast, there is a man down on the far side, and already the physicality coming to the fore.
We just saw 2 for me that obviously wasn't taken into account by the officials, the ref in particular. And this one, obviously, you see, this is what happens if you don't take care of it if you don't deal with it as it starts, it continues thereafter. Look at that knee.
Oh, he led with the knee.
Yeah.
Right into the lower back. That will hurt quite a lot. So you can understand why he stayed down. The victim of the challenge then, it's totally understandable, that knee going into the lower back.
But in this particular instance, I don't think there was any other way that the player could have jumped. He always jumped with the one knee high. And it's difficult to then shift it differently to avoid something that is in front of you. In this case, the Angolan player was the victim.
Kaneta, the man who's fallen victim to the challenge, operating in the attacking areas for the Angolans, and in midfield as well, plays for Libolo out in Angola. The men in red and black picking up the pieces here on this near side. What we are watching with keen interest here is the intensity the Angolans are bringing into this match, especially since they are going against the wind here in the first half. Reason being, they are seen as the side, of course, that may have the upper hand coming into this match, or maybe the favourites. So since that is the case, it's upon them to then take the game to Mauritius, who would have expected this sort of start and will look to withstand the pressure for the next 15, 20 or so minutes. Nice turn on the far side, getting to the byline, is played across. And, well, an opportunity goes begging without a shot being taken.
Could it be effect of that ball coming a little bit too faster than expected? The other thing is, I'm trying to think, he must have seen it late, because there were two players that had the chance to be able to tap it home and they didn't. Good play from the wide left-hand side of the attack. Was it Kaneta again?
Nice touches involved again as they try and get a bit of joy out of that left side, which is, of course, put upon the best moment of this match. Say that because not only was the turn impressive, but the ball across kept it low, and like you say, were a couple of chances to turn it home before it eventually found its mark on the far side.
Kaneta started, in fact, he started on that same side. And if you look at what is name, Oseka on the right hand side of the attack, but we didn't see too many crosses flying, and now I'm trying to work it out. Are they playing as inverted, or as those that hugs the line, left-footed that is, on the left hand side of the attack? Ball playing team, that is without a doubt.
Yep.
That's what they're given to, and that's who they are.
Tell you what's impressive, William Chong, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this inside the opening 6 minutes. It's the fact that Angola, firstly, have started off with the intensity which they have, the tempo they've been able to maintain here, especially the tempo that they're moving it about, going against the wind. They are mostly keeping it on the floor here, but still, with their movement and passing, are able to cause discomfort against the wind.
Further is that that's the same intensity that they started with, and eventually with time it went out of the window, and that for me would be the concern. Yes, there is a bit of impact, but that still gives you so much control of the ball when you keep it low.
Plus still out to that far side due to what was the best of passes, looking to keep it wide on the left. Yet to see Mauritius really string together a few passes. Now you can see how the wind is holding up the ball that's kicked forward then. Couldn't quite make its way behind that defense. They thought about taking the throw in quickly to the men in black and red, but then thought better of it. So far, 10 matches played, 22 goals scored. As we wait to see who will score the 23rd goal of this year's tournament between these two nations. And who in particular, keep in mind, Mauritius yet to find the back of the net in this year's tournament, whilst the Angolans have only had one goal. Now Mauritius with the ball that was closely watched defensively then by the Angolans. Whilst Angola have had the better go of it in this year's tournament, we've had a reminder of the beautiful game and the surprises that come with it. As the chance falls here for Mauritius, and the surprise I was about to speak about unfolds against the run of play, Mauritius get the chance and bury it. It's happened on a good few occasions already in this year's COSAFA Cup, and it's no different in this match with Angola against Mauritius.
That must be very Francois. And the defender under a little bit of pressure fails to clear. And then it falls perfectly. That's why the advice to defenders is that when you're going to make a tackle that you're not too sure of, don't go down. Try to stand as much. But he was off balance. And what a chance for Francois. Ball just drops in front of him. And he had all the time and very composed to slam it home. It's a great goal.
Well, the very first meaningful attack here, defender makes a mess of it. Composure is the order of the day for Marie-Francois, and well, he has no problems in banging it beyond Sasani, the goalkeeper of Angola, and it's Mauritius that grabbed the lead. How often we've seen this happen in this year's COSAFA Cup. As I was making that point, Mauritius went on to go on and hurt the side that hit the ground running in finding the momentum and rhythm.
Now, I remember some of the words that the coach mentioned, and I'm thinking to myself, wow. But then, the changes made, I still have a big concern. That's just too many to think that they were going to form up in that fashion. But, well, the coach works with them on a daily basis. He knows what to expect from the team.
So, this will make things interesting for Angola. Will this make them anxious in the attempts to try and force the issue? As we see the shots flying over, well over then from Caneta. Or will they keep the measured start here where they were trying to play their way through Mauritius? They kept the ball impressively on the ground. They kept it moving about. What will the story be now? Will they lose their heads a bit and start to send the ball in the air, trying to get forward over the top? Or will they stay to the script? That is the big question.
The emphasis of any coach is just because of a little bit of pressure and one mistakes, you don't change from the original plan. I mean, we saw this from Malawi yesterday, who obviously went so fruitful in as far as taking chances that they're creating, but they continue with the tempo, which is what they made it clear from the beginning, that we're going to wear this team down and eventually they will break down and will take advantage. So I think for Angola, it's a seasoned team that will know that having a structure is what will work.
With the ball out to that far side, slightly overcooked, out for the throw-in. Well, the most interesting of starts to this game, if you are just joining us here with 10 minutes gone by, all Angola, including a lovely moment they had to maybe create a chance and open the scoring. In the end, they didn't have a shot fired towards goal. And with the very first ball played into the box, it's Mauritius that opened the scoring. Mauritius, who've had the beating of Angola on one occasion, keep in mind, in the past, was Angola as a 1-5. Now, ball in. They need to be wary of moments such as this. Do the Angolans, you can see how the wind took that ball away and helped it run over the goal line for the goal kick. Then William Shongwe. It's a strong factor here today.
But also, I don't know if you noticed, as soon as the ball hit the ground, it didn't bounce up.
Yeah.
Instead, it slided a bit forward, leaving it way too far for the striker to run to.
Picked up here in the middle of the park. And worked over to that far side to the, well, ever busy Caneta on that left side. Good challenge to ensure he didn't make any headway. Aderito. Applying pressure on Mauritius. In the end, they Handled it for just a second before losing possession of the ball again. So allowed Angola to push forward on that far side already. They've got 4 in the box here. The ball in finds a teammate, but in trying to set it up for the shot, allowed just enough time for the defender to get goal side for the block.
First charge, obviously, I think the problem was he was facing away from his own goal, from the goal that he could have scored to. So him turning around just gave the defender that additional second to cover and make the block.
Well, that left side again looking profitable for the Angolans as they've got problems coming in on that left side of their defense with Mauritius pushing forward. So throwing it is here to Mauritius with the wind in their backs as well. So dead ball situations in and around that final third will be rather interesting when the men in white do get them. Giving away a set piece here. Keep in mind, if you are just joining us and are wondering about the venue, yes, there has been a change in venue. We are now at the Princess Makoko Stadium, a multiple purpose stadium in KwaMashu. Of course, this stadium has gone through changes ahead of the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Did receive an upgrade. Wow, there's a chance. Great chance then for the Angolans. Out of the mark then, but more like it as they get their big man forward. Penafra amongst those looking to take charge.
A great killing cross, and the ball was in front of him on the run, and he seems to shock it brilliantly, just as to allow his head to target it in towards goal. But something went horribly wrong there. Great chance. Both defenders beating in that center.
Got to fall back a bit as he went forward to try and get his head aligned with the ball, and then had to adjust, which I thought he did impressively. But that's what made the difficulty level of that header quite high. In the end, couldn't steer it towards goal. Now, ball in. So, 15 minutes gone by here. We've seen chances on either side of the field. One converted by Mauritius. And even in these conditions, it's something we can say quite confidently. And that's that there should be more goals in this match. Now, nice little drop on the shoulder to create the angle. Keeper was positioned well then to come up with a good in the save. Denying Penafra was it. We're drifted out wide to this near side. Good save by Jean-Louis, the keeper.
Save was good because it didn't go through. But you can understand the challenge that the goalkeeper had. It was hit so hard. And remember, the conditions are wet, which makes it even harder to hold onto the ball. But excellent work by Penafra in the way that he dropped the shoulder to the right and sold a dummy to the defender, which cleared his route towards goal, and on his stronger right foot hammered the ball.
Well, the man that made the save, Jean-Louis, plays for Pamplemouses out in Mauritius. Conceded 2 goals in the opening match. This is a second showing of the tournament. Here is Penafra popping up on this right side. Showing powerful.
As soon as he cut into the inside, he was thinking one way, and there wasn't enough cover from the Mauritian defense to see if they can block him. So it was clear for him to go direct.
Again, nice work on this near side. Ball played in, dealt with by Mauritius. Needing further work to get some distance on the clearance. But right back.
It's a real good job. Yes, the Mauritius are in the lead, but let me tell you, they are under pressure. The chances are coming thick and fast from Angola.
Pull over the top here towards this near side. Kachulo now. with a few step overs, including 3 in the box. So they are very eager to get those crosses in there. Not always keeping them low. It's kept alive on the far side. 4 already awaiting the cross inside the box. Why not go with the early ball then?
Impressive of the numbers that they always find in the box.
Now again, another moment where the 2 in the heart of defense have to have their wits about them. Also having to work a little bit, then playing it out. The ball out from the goalkeeper wasn't the very best. In fact, it had them under pressure and forced Aderito into committing the foul. He'll get the yellow card as well for what I suspect could be an elbow.
Sad part about that, when a player turns in that fashion and is under pressure, the hands are always a given. That one was a little bit outstretched. Very obvious. It meant to impede the opposition's player. Francois, that is.
So, Mauritius, again, now this is interesting. The distance may be a bit testing from on any other day, William Chonga, but here today, with the wind being what it is, it may very well encourage a shot towards goal from this sort of distance. So the keeper needs to be wise. Now he sets the wall in the position he takes up.
Indeed, the wind is a motivating factor. If the player goes direct, I won't blame him. And there's so many obstructions that could actually put the goalkeeper off.
It's Jean. 4-man wall has done his job. I'll be happy to settle for the throw in on the far side. Will Mauritius, meaning they will stay inside the opposition's final third, stay on the front foot in search of an all-important second here. Maybe numbers back in a defense, meaning they had to go with safety first, the Angola defensively. Still are doing an impressive job of trying to keep the opponents on the back foot. In the end, it's gone down for the throw on the far side. So Mauritius, again, 20 minutes in. If you are just joining us, leading by the goal to nil. A country that's struggled to, for the most part, in the time in the history of the COSAFA Cup, struggled to get up the first round. Their best showing was back in 2001 when they got to the quarterfinals. They repeated that feat in 2004, getting to the quarterfinals again. Since then, they've been involved in every COSAFA and, well, have not gotten beyond the first round.
Also be reminded, Sizwe Mabena, that then they used to export players into South Africa, meaning that the quality of the players was slightly better than it is now. It's been some time that they haven't been able to do that. And Sebastian Bucks,
yep,
and the striker and the goalkeeper used to play for Manning Rangers here in Durban. Can't remember his name right now immediately. So that basically made the difference. We already spoken about some of the other countries, Namibia, who did well at the time when they had players playing in the DStv Premiership. It wasn't the DStv Premiership then, but what I'm saying is if you export players, you have a better chance to have growth in your football, because the quality of the football here in South Africa is slightly better than in the other regions.
Point made, yep. Just looking at the history of this Mauritius nation in the COSAFA Cup, never has one of their players scored a hat-trick before. But amongst their top scorers, the likes of Apau, Nazira, Pierre, Louise and Sophie. You mentioned Sebastian Bucks is amongst those who have scored for Mauritius in the past. goalkeeping, got his body nicely aligned with the ball, then to make for the comfortable pickup. Bit of space on this near side for Hussey to advance on. The right back early again with the ball into that box. They really haven't been shy of sending in those crosses from the left or right side. Have the Angolans, here they are, they come forward again, this time straight down the middle. Nice little 1-2. 4 going wide and a shot coming in then finds the keeper protecting the near post.
Oh, he's having a ball, Jean Lewis. I've seen him at his best versus Mopena. He's a big boy, but catch him on a good day, he can be really difficult to break down. So they're going to have to do better, Angola, if they hope to beat him.
Well, here they are, middle of the park here. Options for the likes of Inokwe to go left, go right. He has directed traffic since the start of this game. Again, not much different from the opening exchanges if you are just joining us. All Angola pushing forward here. Hussey. Get picked up nicely here as they drive forward to try and get it in there. Solid challenge. Strong challenge on the near side here. It needed to be spot on to avoid a penalty.
There were appeals though from Angola. I wonder what they saw to make them think that there must have been something.
Well, it's a nice contest, this. Now, nice turn on the far side then. Good numbers back defensively here. Still the ball played in.
Patient build-ups. You got to appreciate the defensive unit. The defenders are not just there to defend and clear the ball. When they got a space in front of them, they actually build up.
There's a transfer shot banged into the ground then. It's gone wide of the mark here as Angola continues to send numbers forward here in an effort to turn things around. Now, so there was a challenge a little bit earlier on here. That was on Moseka as he made his run into the box. Here it is, a strong challenge. That's what they were appealing for.
In fact, that's the second one, which clearly it landed in the abdomen.
Not a handball?
Not a handball.
So, Angola was 68% over the ball here over Mauritius. It's telling. It really is telling. Got the 4 shots to the 1 from Mauritius. That's made the major difference in the scoreline. We are at the midway point of the first half that has moved along quite nicely here with this a nice contest between these two nations. Problems, yep. And that is injured. And Kakulo. A few players have taken knocks here and have stayed down during the course of this match. Plays his left football for Petro Atletico and enjoyed 58 minutes of the first game where he didn't finish it but started, which is the case for most of the Angolans. In fact, all of them in the starting 11 started the first game. The changes, if you are joining us late, came from a Mauritius team that made more than just a handful of changes to their starting lineup. That's how the injury came about.
Yes. Seems to be fine. Amaral.
Now, watching on here is Jose Amaral, and Well, the application has been spot on. They really have looked a side that's gone out in search of goals here. They've had a whole lot of box entries. They've looked everything that's about a side that's trying to find the back of the net. Football being football, they caught a sucker punch and found themselves chasing when they've had all the momentum in this game. Nicely done on the near side. Solid running on the near side. They were looking for the foul. That's exactly what they'll get. Well, the men in white.
Well, for those that maybe will not be too familiar with Amral, what is this background? He's actually worked with the national team before, and at one stage he was the assistant to Harvey Renard, the very famous Harvey Renard, who has won the Nations Cup with a number of different countries.
Cote d'Ivoire,
Zambia.
It's famous for the white shirt.
Yeah.
No matter the conditions, no matter how hot or cold.
Wasn't he there at Morocco at some stage?
I believe so, yes. Now, look at the youngsters here that are watching the game, Willie. Just to show you how cold it is. Look at how bundled they are together to try and get a bit of body heat here. And what's impressive is more and more of them are still coming through here. And no matter the weather, these young men are about their football. And nothing's going to stop them from enjoying what Angola and Mauritius have to show for now, including Mozambique. And of course, Lesotho later on in the day.
For those that are bundled up together in the way that they've done so, they're just a sort of a blanket that will cover them all together.
In fact, one of the football administrators in the country, Maria Letwaba, has been going on a campaign where she's been handing out blankets throughout the country over the winter. I'm sure she would have seen that picture and thought to herself, hey, she could quickly get a few blankets down to Komashu, you know? Now, this is looking a bit of a serious injury here, as the Angolans may be forced into thinking about making a change. Half an hour into the game, it's still Mauritius that lead very much against the run of play here at the Princess Makoko Stadium. Maybe forced into the change. Men warming up, of course. One of them may be needed in the next couple of minutes or so. We'll see how the situation does pan out.
Jean-Marc Itia
yes.
is the other striker who's struggling to get his name. He must be very angry with me because I talk to him every now and then on the phone, and now his name just
escapes you.
Yeah. Wow. My bad, if you're out there watching this game, will remember your contribution in South African football.
There had a few players from a few countries at the time that weren't very popular out at Santos that we grew used to. Full across, and all it needed was a touch. At times even a defensive touch can be enough to derail or put the goalkeeper off.
Kaneda, I think it's a player that they failed to bring it under control. He was right in the box, number 14.
In fact, speaking about Santos and the likes of Jean-Marc Itia and Sebastian Bucks, these are their sort of conditions out in Cape Town. Yeah. Very
windy one, yes.
And for some reason, Santos, they had it sorted out with those big men that included the big Ugandan in a defensive memory serves me right, whose name escapes me now. But
I'll come back to him.
But they could cause all sorts of problems.
From Kenya.
From Kenya, yes.
That's right.
In conditions such as this.
And then the general in that middle, Ricardo Manetti from Namibia. Oh, they had a team then. Is it the same team that went on to win a cup under Gordon Nicholson? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but that's what I mean when I say they had players from countries we never really at that time would have looked to, like Namibia, Ricardo Manetti. We mentioned Mauritius, Kenya as well at the time. We had a few more from Kenya as the years have gone by.
Atieno or something like that.
Etienne, yeah.
From Kenya.
Big
Yeah.
central defender. Musa?
Musa Otieno.
Otieno, yes. There you go, that's it.
Gee.
Now, good movement, byline, and just won't look out for the Angolans for the time being.
I had him on Skype during one of the shows that we did during the COVID time where there was nothing happening. So we started basically connecting with some of the legends that came from somewhere in the continent that made a big impact in South African football. That is when I got connected to Mark Itia. And a number of them, obviously. It was a beautiful time, just reminiscing about the old times.
Now, good movement here on the near side. Again, they very quick to get numbers in the ball here. They are always encouraging the men out wide to look up and have the option for the early ball as something that's, well, open to them. Another ball in there. Just needs a touch. One quality ball could change things for the better for Angola on the front foot.
And it wouldn't be like hopeless for them if you see a ball flying in. I mentioned that earlier that they've been able to identify those moments and flooded that middle of the box with the red shirts. So that has continued to be the case. So when one ball is played in there, you know anything can happen.
Solid challenge at the edge of the box once again. Timely in ensuring that Mauritius do protect the man on the ball here. Jean-Louis, he and friends would love to make it to the halftime break with the lead still on their side here. For Angola, it's all about finding that equalizer. Still moving across or moving along at quite a tempo. Ball in! Oh, it's a lovely ball. Keeper's done enough, has he? Oh, it is yes. Much better ball from this near side. Again, the goalkeeper did just about enough. Wasn't entirely convincing, but did the job.
Once again, there was somebody out taking the ball. So each and every time that ball flies into the box, the likelihood for a red shirt to be there is always very high.
Ten minutes until the end of the first half. What will be interesting is seeing Angola playing with the wind at their backs in the second half. They've got the corner here. Again, as soon as that cross was sent in, already they had four inside the box, one lurking just outside of the box. They're very quick to get numbers forward on the Angolans. Only side to have enjoyed corners in this first half. On the men in red and black, they've got their fourth coming up. For that, there will be a talking to inside the box as to how the men conduct themselves. Nice turn. Men over towards that far post were hoping, begging for the ball to land in their direction.
I think Moseka was looking to just lob that ball over. The whole idea was excellent, except for that maybe it felt a little shot lower than he would have wanted it. And the goalkeeper covering the near post, so the back post would have been wide open.
A nation that has reigned supreme over Southern Africa are the Angolans, winners in '99 of the COSAFA Cup, in 2001 as well as 2004. All in all, in their 47 matches, they've won 19, drawn 15, lost 13, scoring 47 and conceding 40. Now, speaking on the far side, oh, that's well read. Nicely done then by Mauritius, who again will look to hit on the counter attack here. They've got some numbers going forward, bit of quality. They may extend their lead. Ball in, harm the teammates. Looking for yards, can't find the power. It's Angola again. That Mauritius having all the players behind the ball.
The point I made earlier, for me, it's very impressive. Look at this attack.
Oh, they've worked it out wide here. Again, plenty of numbers in the box. How good's the ball in? It's found a man in familiar colors, but in the end, again, a defender at the right place, right time to come up with the goods in the block.
What has worked for Angola, Cesar Mabena, is, you know, it is one thing for the defenders to have the ball and look for the options to play it long, but what they do is they attack the middle, and the sooner you attack the middle, it means you are drawing attention, and when you start applying the high press as the defender is coming, then you are minusing the numbers defensively. That's why they've been successful in getting those balls into the wide areas and pinging it into the box. Great approach by Angola.
Against the wind, it need be said and pointed out. Well, here's the chance from earlier. Ball played in then. Nice little turn then, and these shot is well anticipated and blocked in. Maseka, the man tonight. Good defending by the likes of Jean in it. Last 5 minutes of this first half. Been a lively first half if you are just joining us here. Angola huffed and puffed. And in the early stages against the run of play, it's Mauritius that found the only goal of the match so far through Marie-Francois. And it's been Angola again on the front foot, looking to create moments and trying to break down the Mauritius defense, which has stood firm quite impressively. Sensible defending. Now it gets back to Jean-Louis. Well, for Mauritius, in spite of the fact that they have had the lead, yeah, they really have struggled in trying to hold on to the ball and stitch together passes and look like a threat going forward to try and get that second. It really hasn't happened for them. Considering they've had the wind in the backs here for much of this first half. found that the intensity that has been brought forward here by the Angolans has been such that it's really denied them any joy whatsoever in trying to get forward and get creative. Even playing it out of their own half has proven to be quite a task. Then they, well, thought they'd won it back in a great area, had the Angolans to push on and try and make a chance. In the end, they seem to have committed the foul. There'll be 2 minutes added on to the end of this first half. Well, they've got the set piece here to Angola. Haven't been able to trouble the opponents much through the dead ball. Not in this first half, anyway. That's well read. Turned into trouble, however. One has to credit the Angolans with the fact that they have been able to maintain the same tempo right throughout this first half and intensity. Here they are pushing forward, hoping to get that opportunity. In the end, the connection. Oh, he saw the ball like turning away from goal and not really wanting to be accurate enough to find that all-important equalizer for the Angolans. Really going into the 2 minutes of time added on here. Good hustle, good work done here on this near side to keep it alive by Mosaka. The eventual shot coming in from Kakulo never really looked convincing as it left his foot. Early ball forward. Well, it's maybe time now to go back to the drawing board for the Angolans. Plan for the second half, also plan for the conditions in the second half where they will have the wind in their backs. It'll be interesting to see how that switches up, of course. Coming into the second 45. For Mauritius, they'll be happy if they can hold on here for the next 20 or so seconds and take the lead into the halftime break and then plan accordingly for what should be another onslaught from the Angolans whilst they try and hit on the counter. Has been the story of the day so far. Good hard running on the far side. Now, can Angola find that equalizer just before the halftime break? The defending. Nothing wrong with the defending, it got physical in there. In the end, it did well for Mauritius. Brave from Jean-Louis between the sticks. Canetta with the ball in then. Having to use his body to protect the ball, and the goalkeeper was Hossi. At the last attacking play of this first half, a entertaining enough first half between Angola and Mauritius. Huffing and puffing coming from the men in red then as they try to slow down the men in white, who came up with the goal against the run of play, with Marie-Francois scoring the only goal of the half. Then for the Angolans, they continue to work hard in trying to break down this Mauritian defense. Crosses from the left and right, attacks coming in straight down the middle. They stood firm, and when they were broken down, their goalkeeper Jean-Louis was equal to everything thrown at him. Plenty of positives from Angola. Also the negative in the goal conceded against the run of play, but they'll want to improve on the front foot coming out into the second half. At half time, it's Mauritius that lead Angola with a scoreline of 1-0. So, have a look at how things unfolded. In that first half, that lead against on the play, and well, Angola, that try as they may, couldn't find couldn't play. So they lead by a goal to no to the Angolans here at the end of this first half. Let's look back at the highlights then. Angola started off in the front foot. They had a great moment here. Ball played across the face of goal, and somehow the shot didn't happen. But they started with the right intensity, did the Angolans. They were asking all the right questions of their opponents. Lovely turn and everything right, but the touch towards goal here, that's all that was necessary. Very much against the run of play. Ball is played into the box here. The defender doesn't quite get it right with his clearance. It sits up and is begging to be put away then by Marie-Francois. He said thank you very much as he banged it home. And Mauritius, very much against the run of play, took the lead. Now, having a look at Mauritius and this moment again, the defender will feel he should have done much better at dealing with it then. Hadirito, man who also went on to pick up a yellow card in that first half. So, they continued to push forward, never really let up in the pressure, did the Angolans. That's a powerful shot that came in then from Penafra. Keeper got behind it and parried it away. So let's have a look at the numbers then. At the end of the first half, and it's Angola with, well, the bulk of possession. They also look at the shot on target, same as Mauritius, which may be a slight concern for the Angolans. Keep in mind, they were going against the wind in the first half, and will have the wind in their backs in the second, which should make things interesting. Now,
joining me is Miss Leah Masango, who's head of the COSAFA Technical Study Group, and it's a big term to use. Let me just go on and preempt who is also a part of that. Mark Fish, Sudesh Singh, Cyril Mtembu, Noketa Kumalo. Exactly tell us, what does this group entails in as far as your responsibility here in the tournament?
Thank you, Mr. Shongwen. This is a group that works mainly with analysis, but this goes beyond analysis because in this one, we focus mainly on how the team organize, first of all. We look at the team aspect, group aspect, even individuals during the moments of the game. Now, what does that really entail? How are teams attacking? How are teams behaving during transitions? And what also are they doing in defense? What we have looked at and we have observed during this tournament, which have been a trend, the teams that have been more successful are those who are using the 4-3 formations, 4-3-2, it's 4-2-3-1 formations with lone strikers, and also using inverted wingers or even fullbacks, which are more effective when they're giving us those crosses and also overloading and adding numbers forward. But now with this group of the people that you've mentioned, these are specialists who are bringing in a lot of input when it comes to us observing these matches and for us to decide on a daily basis who are the guys who can be given the player of the match.
Now tell me, what happens with this information? Once you've compiled it, where does it go?
This information that we compile, we take it back to COSAFA to take it out to their MAs, so for them to try and give this information out so that the MAs can try and improve on their technical aspect. Because these are documents that we give out to technicians because we know that it's not written for any other person because the jargon also plays a major role because other people can read it but they will not be able to interpret properly. So we do take it out, and now we're working towards getting it out there in the general public so that people can start getting interested in doing technical study within their MAs themselves before they get into COSAFA.
Because for me, I've seen you in so many different tournaments, obviously compiling this information, but I haven't had the privilege to lend any of those compilations into my hands, because for me, I'm sure it will be useful for so many different people. So how can people, maybe if they're interested in finding out where to find it, do you have any form of contact?
You know, when you can go through the competitions department, our COSAFA competitions department, they will definitely forward it to you. I don't think that there's no secret. Everyone needs to learn, and all the MAs need to improve, because with us, we're not saying who is right or but who is wrong, but we are guided by the modern trends, which is what we're trying to instill into the teams and the MAs.
Ms. Masango, thank you so much for all the information, and good luck going forward. I'd like to have that document, please.
Definitely you'll get it. Even today, if you ask for it, I can send it. Thank you.
Well, there you have it then. Thank you very much to William Shongwe with yet another informative interview. As we look forward to the second half, we will come back with it on the other side of this. all, we look forward to the second half in this Group C encounter between Angola and Mauritius as they look to conclude their second round match here with Mauritius leading by a goal to no scoreline. And the Angolans have made a change here at the start of the second half. They have replaced Kakula wearing the number 17 on his back with Jeremiah wearing the number 9. So very much an attack-minded change made here by the Angolans, who will be playing, keep in mind, with the wind at their backs in the second half. Now, all out wide here, they've got numbers in the box. Same story as that was for the first half, where they'd work it out wide and were very quick to get numbers in there. Here they are again with three awaiting across. The flag will go against the Angolans. So opening exchanges pretty much gives us an idea of their intentions as they look to pick up from where they left off on the front foot and asking questions of the Mauritius defense. Now you can see the wind and the effect it's had on that goal kick. It didn't get much distance towards that halfway line at all. So it's the Angolans that will look to capitalize on that. Nice turn in the middle of the park here as Mauritius try and put together the passes that will see them played out from defense. Francois pushing forward here from the left back position. Hoping for the corner. Goal kick it will be. Unlucky then for the man pushed forward at being Graydon Francois, wearing the 19 on his back. He amongst those to have come in off the bench as well, with Mauritius having made a change of their own. Referee could have allowed play to continue then, but has brought it back here, and one has to wonder if there'll be a card shown. Could very well be the case here for the defender. He has been called back by the match referee, and for the time being it looks as though it'll just be a serious talking to for Jean-Francois. That's the many changes made to that starting 11 at the top of the day. Jean-Francois coming into the right back position. So keep in mind now for the Angolans, they've got the wind in their backs for these set pieces, so let's see if they'll get joy from them. Ball played in, then defended at the expense of a corner. Angola with another ball thrown into that box again. Mauritius having enough back to deal with the danger. Here they are now looking to quickly turn defense into attack. That's some good hard running on that far side. Well, they're still going. In the end, they run into trouble as the Angolans pick it up. There's never any support to arrive and offer a bit of support for Andrew as he made the inroads on the far side. Now, pull over the top here. It's an interesting one here. Good running! And the save, I believe, from Jean-Louis to deny Ben Offra what looked good for goal number 2 for him in this tournament. Now, ball in towards the far post. Nothing will come of it, but how did Jean-Louis come up with the goods in the save to keep it at 1-0 in favor of Mauritius? That's the big question. It was a lovely ball over the top. The movements of the ball was absolutely top-notch. It's a great chance, and wow, what a save to deny the new man on the field, in fact, was Cesar Jeremiah. Few changes that have been made. We'll confirm for you in a moment. Spoke of the changes at half-time. One of those was Jeremiah, who's just had that lovely opportunity. Now, there is a confirmation of the change in with Jeremiah replacing Kakulo. Best chance of the second half, falling to the new man on the field then. Also had Mauritius having Francois replacing Brasser. Now, especially on this near side, Mauritius could be onto something here. Ball into the central area, a little too close to the keeper. Would have been a chance, then a definite chance for them to go on and create the second. Better ball. Could have led to a better moment. Luan Lang, the man who's committed the foul in the middle of the park. Physical on the defensive side of Mauritius then in dealing with the ball being played in on the near side. Picking up the pieces in the middle of the park. The Aderito. Now, let's divide nicely. Ball in. Overcooked. Won't find any of the three that we're hoping to take advantage. So, with 7 or so minutes gone by here since the restart, we've seen Angola have a glorious opportunity then with Jean-Louis, the man between the sticks for Mauritius, playing a stunning role in denying Jeremiah, the man who's just come on at the start of this second half, but it's Angola picking up from where they left off and Mauritius playing in patches so far. Good communication between keeper and defender. Again, the one major factor we'd be looking for in the second half was to see what things would be like with Angola going with the wind at their backs and Mauritius going against the wind here in the second half. Golden's working it in, field in with Mabale.
I gotta give you other coaches, Sezombene, always prefer to play against the wind, while you might think it's more advantageous if you got the wind on your back. Because they say it's sometimes difficult for the players to measure the passes going forward, because you might used to putting this much power to your pass, but then the wind carries way too forward.
It's good work defensively then. Couldn't be sure that the goalkeeper could get to it, so in the end took no chances. The Aderito.
And we saw yesterday, of course, the Zambians conceding a goal from a very situation that didn't look harmful at all.
Fell into trouble. In fact, was fouled. Kaneta, as he looked to take on 2 or 3 in a white, has been very eager to run at that defense from the wide left, right from the early stages of this match. As Kaneta. Of course, the match yesterday didn't allow us to, or didn't allow you, Shongwe, to explain something you've been trying to explain for a few days now. The ball is played in towards that far post. Again, it'll go out for the corner, but the issue of the penalty and the red card. Still,
okay, let me see if I can take the opportunity to quickly do it.
I said let's wait for this corner first.
Okay.
Respectfully.
But if it doesn't happen, it's your fault again.
Referee looking to ensure there's no pushing and shoving inside that box, so taking care of the matter from the penalty spot. Can get on with the corner. And the ball floated in. Good numbers forward here for the Angolans. Goal kick, which presents the perfect opportunity for us, strong one.
Okay. Any foul that happens in the box that deserves a direct kick in the form of a penalty and is committed by a playing limb, that is the one that is excusable, because you will be aligned with making an attempt with your playing limb to win the ball back. So then maybe probably catching the player and creating a foul. But any other form of a foul, mainly using your hand, whether it's holding the player, attacking, then that one is not excusable. That's the one that comes with a red card plus a penalty, in simpler terms.
There you go. This game kind enough to allow us to break it down. Yesterday's game with Malawi, there was just too much happening too quickly for us to be able to break it down.
And I must give credit, of course, to some of the officials that I'm in touch with every now and then, that are able to give me the information. Mr. Spotom is one I'm talking no Esnobo. And then there is Utlungwan, who's now a retired referee. And he sits at home, obviously, continues to watch the game and give his input there and there. And we do appreciate. And Jerome as well in Cape Town, Damon, that is another that is always willing to give us some updates during the game.
Now, players coming together now in the middle of the park here, and a foul committed where the referee is going to have to take some action. Fortunately for him, tempers are calm, so as much as players have all advanced in on the situation, no one is pushing and shoving, they're all keeping the cool, waiting for the referee to act on the situation. We are approaching the hour, which also makes things interesting from a overall point of view here, in that for Mauritius they'll be 30 minutes closer to their goal of 90 minutes, and if they stay this way, it'll be a huge upset, one of the big upsets of the tournament thus far. As we look back at the moment here in the injury, elbow, I think it was, to the midsection.
Which for me is another trend. I'm not sure if the study group has been able to maybe put together to summarize this game. This tournament, should I say, is full of surprises. The team that you least expect to get the better of the other seemingly has been the situation, and that which sometimes augurs well for the balance in as far as the power in this region.
Well, ball in here needed to be dealt with. To keep the Angolan defense honest. It's got ball in from the left side. Now, Angola to again build. They've got numbers forward. They have 4 in the edge of the box and a couple in midfield. They've also always got a couple that are out wide, awaiting the opportunity to play in the early cross. Now, on the turn, a little rushed as they eventually pull the trigger.
Always looking to create width.
Now, header. And the follow-up header will be wide of the mark. There was a man coming in on the blind side. Bit better communication, and if you'd allowed that to run on, the man on the blind side may have been onto something. But again, it's the new man on the field here in the second half, Jeremiah, that's involved. Seychelles here. Or rather Mauritius, I beg your pardon, confusing one island nation for another for just a moment, leading the Angolans by that goal to nil. Outside of that, they've created very little. It need be said, the goal scored with a bit of an error defensively then from Adirito. His clearance wasn't the very best, and there to capitalize on it was Marie-Francois.
At some stage, I'm sure the drowning effect is going to catch up with us, and I think for me, I'm looking at around the 75th minute or so, and with the high pressure that Angola has been applying, high intensity, and the effect might come through at that stage in time of the game.
Well, the while, what Mauritius and their fans will be hoping for is a moment on the front foot that will present them with yet another chance to score a goal. And for this to happen, they'll be hoping their side is good enough to take full advantage of it. Well, they continue to work hard in the efforts to break down Mauritius here, but the slight concern here may be the lack of clear-cut chances. Just the one to speak of so far here in this second half, that being for the Angolans. Last year they went as far as the first round, didn't enter back in 2019. In fact, in the last 4 competitions they've taken part in the COSAFA Cup haven't gone further than the first round. Last time they went beyond that was back in 2013 when they hit the quarterfinals. In 2009 they were in the quarterfinals, as well as 2008, the year before that. Last time they were runners-up was back in 2006, semi-finalists in 2005, and I mentioned it earlier, winners back in 04 and 2001, as well as 1999. Let's go back some time for when the Angola national team enjoyed being thereabouts in the leaderboard, so to speak, for the COSAFA region. Now, just 1-2 into the area. Good movement of the ball here. Angle for the shot. Just didn't have enough curl.
Also, as he tries to drag it into a position where he can take a shot, the ball somehow got left behind, and that's why it lacked the power. Showing some level of frustration is Zamrao on the bench for Angola.
I have to say, the weather has improved somewhat since the game got underway. Remember, then it was incredibly grey. There was a huge gust of wind that was blowing from right to left. You could hardly see deeper into Kwamashu, to the surrounding areas here around the Princess Makoko Stadium. As the afternoon has worn on, it's cleared up. There was a bit of a rainbow not too long ago as well, out on the far side. They've had 1 or 2 bits of sun rays coming through as well for the first time today, I believe, of late. Still the winds, what it is, and the weather still cold. Other parts of the country are snowing, which is a huge talking point for those that aren't used to the snow out in the Gauteng area.
If I may add,
Now,
let's see what happens with this action.
well, he's found the yard for the cross, eventually played it in, well defended once again by Mauritius, who've got plenty of men back. You wanted to make a point about the snow?
Yes. I know you haven't been able to call home for quite some time, but you got a call from a daughter who I'm sure has never experienced snow
In
in
Joburg.
her whole life, for that matter, and suddenly, you know, Daddy, there's snow. You can imagine
Sending
how excited Mapena was to receive a call first from his daughter, and then the news of the snow.
Pictures and videos of the snow. Tell you what, the referee's quick, Sean. I don't know if you've noticed. To keep an eye on him when he does move towards the scene of the crime, such as this, from wherever he blows the whistle. 2-3 strikes is there in a flash. Over the years, we've been entertained by some rather fit and quick referees, and just watching them off the ball.
One that comes to mind is Jelly Shabani from Limpopo. Unfortunately, I can't remember his name. There was another a while back who has since retired. He ran so fast that he actually left the players behind.
I think I remember him.
But the only problem with him, he ran so fast and got there in time, but made the wrong decision.
Tell you what.
Amazing, amazing.
I'd like to put Mr. Hamvala's name in the mix of some of the fastest referees we've seen, the man who's in charge of this fixture here today. He's not dramatic in how he does it, but he's quick.
Proximity is the demand of a referee, so speed is of utmost importance.
Also, having both had the fortune at different times to be lectured, and I mean that in a good way, on what referees need just to keep up with the game, to make the decisions they make, and how they need to take up positions and angles, and depending on where the ball is, shows they're at an advantage. You know how important it is that they are fit and able to keep up with the game. That first and foremost is the most important thing. They need to be in shape.
It's funny, if you're not involved with a certain platform, you miss so much. And now that obviously we're learning the rules and we're getting to understand the demands of refereeing, and some will even go as far as studying the formations of the opposition, or how the ball movement is from the defender. Does it go diagonal? Is it build-up play? They study the teams that they're going to be working against so that they can keep up with the possibilities of what might happen next.
One aspect we haven't touched on is the emotional aspect that comes with refereeing. At times making decisions that affect lives and put you under pressure. The support they get from a COSAFA point of view in that regard as well. Yes, we've spoken of referees that at times are sent home, William Shongo, when things go wrong, but they also need support when they make decisions, the right decisions that come with a huge effect. Again, inside of your picture, the referees covered a huge amount of ground to get to this particular scenario where two players seem to have come together. The game is brought to a halt. Struggling here for Mauritius is Vincent Jane. Is the captain who is operating in the heart of defense. Plays for Saint Pelage out in the Reunion Islands. Do have a player that plays in France out of the starting 11. That's being the man wearing the number 8 jersey, Jean Langouet. Plays for Red Star out of France.
Jeremias is the player, of course, that collided with the captain And remember, it's the one that just made it in towards the end of the first half. But he seems to be fine. He'll make his way back into the field.
Mauritius unable to get Joy moving down this near side. They'll get the decision, however. Tempo of the game has come down quite a bit here, which will please Mauritius. Not quite at the same intensity as it was in the first half in the early stages of the second. Of course, we are at the Princess Makoko Stadium, a venue that is in Kwamashu. And, well, leading up to the 2010 FIFA World Cup, of course, did go through its refurbishment to the tune of 93 million rand, William Chongwa, way back in 2009. For those of us that had been to this venue before 2009 will appreciate the new look since then. Lots of football has taken place here in the years following that. Teams such as Nachi Lions, Amazulu, Turban Warriors and Utongati have all played here. Stadium named after Princess Constant Makoko, a Zulu princess who spent much of her life as a singer and composer while developing an understanding for Zulu tradition and culture.
Impressive.
Was also a training stadium, of course, during the 2010 FIFA World Cup, one of the many training venues around the country. Now, ball in here, and wow, Mauritius with a chance to get goal number 2. And wow, mentioned that the tempo had come down a bit from the Angolans, and suddenly it's Mauritius that pop up with a good chance to grab goal number 2.
That's always the fear when you are dominating like Angola have been here. Because sometimes, because you are always on the offense, and you tend to maybe grow a little bit relaxed about your defensive duties. And every now and then you'll be tested, and if you found one thing like in this particular situation, easily it could have ended up in the back of the net.
Very easily could have. And with just over 15 minutes remaining in this match, Mauritius have to begin to wonder. Then, here they are getting onto the attack. The men in white, lovely movement off the goal here. Tight angle, numbers adding on to those already inside the box. Nice 1-2 on the outside. You have to really begin to wonder now if the Angolans still have firstly the same belief they had for much of this match. Well, a few of them are beginning to think, is this one of those days where you huff and puff and you just can't blow down the wall?
It's beginning to look like that. And if anything, it is Mauritius that suddenly have risen up to the occasion. They're beginning to dictate terms.
Only once in the past have they had the beating of Angola and Mauritius. They are looking to add to that with an impressive showing here, and this will be a really impressive showing. Even if they are to grab a point out of this match, worst comes to worst.
Seventh minute it is, Sizwe Mapena.
Football.
It's about 50 minutes or so remaining. Angola could be on their way out.
Early on in the tournament, that's been full of surprises every other day or so. Many of us will remember Namibia coming up against Eswatini. And, well, the people, for the most part, had their money on Namibia. Only one I could think of, far as a football scribe and a man of football, an educated man of football, Nocha, that had his money possibly in Eswatini. Now as William Shongo, we all understood why, knowing where he comes from originally. At the time we thought his heart was jumping ahead of his brain.
But here's the situation. In such cases, you don't use your head. You use your heart.
Case to be made here. Now, under 15 minutes remaining on the clock, and Mauritius with Louis Jackson about to come on. We'll bring Andrew off the field. And one has to go back to the pre-match interview. William Shongwe earlier on in the day, when the coach spoke of the many changes. What, 7 changes made to the starting lineup?
Yes.
And how they could come with a huge surprise, those changes. Can you make 7 changes? You raise an eyebrow more than anything else for all of us watching on here and keeping up with the tournament. 7. And then you speak highly and quite confidently of a possible change that could affect the scoreline here against Angola. You are Mauritius. No disrespect to the name Mauritius or to the flag of Mauritius or the footballing community, but this is against mighty Angola, 3-time former COSAFA Cup champions. And
the coach,
wonder.
The coach didn't mince his words, Mapena. He was very outright about his intention and challenged me to it. And that I will see.
Yeah.
And
I raised an eyebrow listening to that conversation.
And I was one of the doubters, of course, I must admit. And I was like, wow, okay, coach, that's very nice. But let's go on now. You know, when somebody, just brush you aside.
Yeah. Now, I think it's safe to say desperate times for the Angolans. Their coach, when speaking to Shonga earlier on in the day, spoke of a need to go as far as possible in this tournament. In order to do that, they need maximum points here today. Now, good work to keep the men in white in the back foot. Space to turn into here. Again, numbers in the box, but the final ball is disappointing.
It's beginning to be that type of a game. The margins obviously are beginning to come into the picture here. One slight mistake leads to the other, and eventually it boils down to nothing. And that's when you need fresher legs. You need the players that can put a foot on the ball and reorganize the whole team and say, let's play. This is who we are. Let's stick to our game plan. This is who we are. And I feel like at some stage there were times when these young stars tend to forget that, they still have the ability. And there's still about, 14, 13 minutes remaining, and there's still time.
Well, time enough for the coach to have seen enough to prepare to make 3 changes, all in one go, Shongwe. And they'll all come from the Angolan side. So next time the ball goes out of play, there will be a serious change in personnel from an Angolan point of view. Emmanuel Gonsalves will be coming on for Kongolo. There you have it. Gonsalves now waiting to come on in the 3 changes that will be made. Aristide, or rather Tireto, I mean to say, will also be coming on, wearing the number 11 on his back. Louis Tireto. Last of the men coming in then is Antonio Lopez, wearing the number 16. So 3 changes made. 11 minutes remaining on the clock here. Desperate times for the Angolans. Forward they push. Pace here on this near side. It was Mabale on the overlap wearing the number 4 jersey. He's been busy on this left side, whilst Hossi has been equally as busy on the right side on the overlap. Well, we proudly of the Rainbow Nation somewhere are enjoying a bit of a rainbow out to that far side that is promising us better weather conditions.
And do you believe in that?
I believed for a long time growing up in a pot of gold being at the end of the rainbow. My only issue is I've never been able to find where the end of the rainbow is to find this pot of gold. Pauline?
Yeah, I heard of that one as well.
Yeah, I used to read about that a lot in the fairy tales and such.
Because each time you chase it, it just keeps
it's
going further and further away.
The times I'd be happy as a young kid if you're driving in the same direction as where the rainbow's in the end, but you never get to the end of the rainbow.
That's it.
So, needless to say, I'm still in search of my pot of gold. I still believe.
Keep searching, keep searching, keep going, son.
Now, Mauritius will be making a change of their own here. Ashley Nazira comes on, and it's Yannick Astride that makes way. Now, chance, real chance, right on the goal line, and somehow he's managed to hold on to it. As Jean-Louis at some expense, I believe he was injured in the coming together there, but there was real pressure. If he got that wrong, he would have been in serious trouble, Sean. Was off the striker's midsection into his upper body and arms.
Yeah.
It wasn't tidy at all.
But enough to save the day.
If he doesn't have his body behind it, he's in trouble.
But what I'm not sure is then where did the injury came from? Because I didn't see a foot or a hand or...
It's one of those situations, I believe, somewhere, where men in your position...
Just to wind the clock a little bit.
Yeah. Frustrate the opposition, looking at the clock. It's right about that time where the mind games will begin. You can see he's fine. Still hard to tell where the injury, what was sore. Was it the ankle? Was it the arm? Was it... He is a big man. It'll take way more than that to hurt him. Huge man.
I've considered myself also reasonably tall, but standing alongside him, the man was looking down at me.
Yeah. The rest of the team now has been watching the ref. Now comes Zhongwei. And the referee at the drop of the ball, as soon as it just kicked up the field, they were laughing at how quickly he made it to the halfway line. So that's the rest of our team now that's been wise to the referee's movements. So as the tournament does push on, I'll keep an eye on this particular referee moves. Two players down. In fact, they will stay down for too long now. If they are Angolan, quick to get up and get moving. Run it off. And if that is the case, nice to see from Louis Direitos coming off the bench. They are about the business of finding the equalizing goal here. No time to dilly-dally. Yellow card shown. Man clearly plays his left football in France.
I'm not sure what he did. Did he just run into the referee to receive the yellow? The referee was walking away and only turned to see him and then produce the yellow.
At the time when you're just crashing into everything inside William Shongo.
It's like, ref, I'm here. Can I get it? Thank you.
Go in. Sees Mauritius concede the corner. Just over 5 minutes remaining on the clock here. And another upset is on the cards. In the way of the 2023 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup. Into the near post, that's well defended. That zipper at that ball. Again, there'll be another opportunity from that far side. Good closing down here as the men in white work together as a team and extremely hard to continue to force them go to the back. There you go. They've done well here. Here they are on the counter attack now. That's good play. starting off with their defense to working to where they did and getting that free kick. That's superb play from Mauritius.
Beside that, it's on their attacking half, but also the time that is going to take for them to get the game going all works in their favor in as far as buying a bit of time for themselves.
Louis Jackson, the man who made that run on the far side, one of those that is coming off the bench, so those fresh legs coming into good effect for Mauritius. Now, space on the far side here. Good hard running to get into position to send in the cross. It's defended on the near post again. Mauritius having plenty of numbers back inside that box to deal with. Well, it's become obvious now, the work coming in from the wide areas from the Angolans. Always having numbers in the box to try and receive those. Cross this time is disappointing. We'll go out for the goal kick.
Just a reminder that it's after this match, we still got another match on at 6 p.m. Mozambique taking on Lesotho. That will be on the match number 12 of the HOLLYWOODBETS COSAFA Cup 2023.
Again, Mauritius having the ball exactly where they want it in the dying moments of this match. Giving away the set piece. And Jackson, again, they'll quickly look to get back into their defensive positions. Clock very much counting against Angola. Tell you who will be smiling at this. Lesotho as well as Mozambique, who will be in action later on in the day. The surprise package of Group C all of a sudden, it looks like will be Mauritius going into the third round of matches. Lesotho already on 3 points. We'll see Mauritius join them on 3 points, and those two sides would have been on some people's books to be those that may have been struggling coming into the second and third round of matches, but here they are sitting at the top of the group by the look of things here, with Angola and Mozambique looking to struggle a bit, having yet to register a win. Mozambique could fix all of that with the right result against Lesotho. Already had the beating, keep in mind, of Mauritius, 2-0 the scoreline. A game they very much had in control, Lesotho. Goals early and late, with the second coming in of the experienced striker, Sera, who they're coming off the bench to score the second in that encounter. Will be amongst those in action, of course, against the Mozambicans, who will look for their first win of the tournament come the 6 o'clock kickoff. Free kick for the challenge against the keeper. Angolans in a hurry here as we move into the last minute of 90. Change being made yet for the Angolans. Coming in is Moises Amo. Seconds remaining of the 90 now. All waiting to find out how much time will be added on to the 90 minutes. And for Mauritius, the big results will be coming up now. There'll be 3 minutes added on to this match, and for Mauritius, they need to hang on for just another 3 minutes. We have to go back 9 matches to the last time Mauritius won a match, which was the last time they beat Malawi back in 2018, with Balisson being the man to score the winner. Since then, they've lost 1-0 to Angola, 6-0 to Botswana, played 2-2 against the Swatini, lost 2-1 to Comoros, 3-0 to Eswatini, 2-1 to Lesotho, 2-0 to Malawi, including the 2-0 loss to Lesotho in starting off this year's tournament. Now, Angola, hoping something will fall for them inside that box. Now, a minute and a half, just about gone by, so a minute and a half remains. Ball in, could be a chance here. Oh, there is a chance. A glorious opportunity, taking a deflection and gone out for the corner. Does that sum up the day for Angola? Kenafra amongst those push forward. Oh, his body about it. This Ben Affleck falls for him. Takes a slight deflection out for the corner, which is overcooked and will relieve the pressure of Mauritius. Chance then to grab the equalizer with one of the last attacking, if not the last attacking play of the match, one of the last. Do have a huge suspicion that it could very well have been the last year. Time enough to squeeze one more in possibly. Here they are on the front foot. Desperate. Mauritius and holding on here. Years since they've been able to pick up a win in the COSAFA Cup. The drought comes to an end today. That's gone out for the goal kick. Again, 2018 was the last time Mauritius had a win. That was against Malawi, a game they won by a goal to nil. Balisson, the man that scored the goal. 8 games, in fact it is, that they played without a win. That was 9 matches back. So that drought comes to an end here today as Mauritius get the better of Angola for only the second time in their history in the COSAFA Cup. And well, a taste to run a play, and very much with a back to the wall tough. They score the early goal, hold on for dear life, and frustrate the Angolans. Goal scorer, Marie-Francois. And for Angola, well, they huffed and puffed. They tried to keep the intensity on, but it just wouldn't happen for them. When at the beating of what was a stubborn defense, they couldn't find the better of Jean-Louis, the man between the sticks for Mauritius, and one of the players to have stood out during the course of the 90 minutes. Well, we came to the Princess Makoko Stadium for the first time here in KwaMashu in this year's tournament, and it's come with a good batch of luck for Mauritius on a day where the weather conditions were a huge talking point, huge weather in the way of the wind and the cold conditions that made life difficult, but still, it's a day that ends with smiles on the faces of all concerned with Mauritius football. Huge results in Group C sees Mauritius getting the better of Angola, walking away 1-0 winners. Well, it's Angola that we're asking questions from early. Lovely spin, ball played across. Somehow, the shot never came in then when it looked good for anything to direct it towards goal to possibly turn into a goal scoring opportunity. And then the ball played in here. Defender Aderito doesn't quite deal with it, so it sits up and begs to be put away. And Marie-Francois was more than happy to step up and kept the business done in a goal of huge importance at the end of the day to this group and how things will turn out at the end of it all. On their way at that point to a second ever win over Angola in the COSAFA Cup. But the Angolans kept asking questions, kept trying here, and Ben Afra with a strong, powerful piece of play, then save being made by Jean-Louis, who taken up a good position. Just got his body behind it and didn't try to hold on then, was just glad to palm it away. Fellow defenders there to help with the cleanup act, and here's another great opportunity here and a super save from Jean-Louis. What a game he had in a frustrating and in the end getting the better of Angola. Good contest between he and Ben Afra, and Ben Afra was the man denied here as Jean-Louis was to reign supreme along with his teammates from Mauritius. Goal attempts tell you a story. It was all Angola. The only problem is they don't have too much on target. As Mauritius smashed them in that regard, they're slightly more of the ball. There the Angolans will be so frustrated at the fact that with so much going for them on the front foot, they just weren't able to test Jean-Louis enough to be able to get more on target, thus get the better of them. We take our hats off to Mauritius for coming up with yet another upset that kept us on the edge of our seats in the way of the 2023 HOLLYWOODBETS COSAFA Cup.
Joining me downstairs is Mr. Adam Bombam Tsetwa, Honorary Vice President of COSAFA and President of Eswatini Olympic Committee, to present the Player of the Match award. And the name is Rudy Vincent Jean, the defender who made sure that they kept the scoreline clean. Do the honors, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Tsetwa. You're not going anywhere, Jean. Well done. I'm not too sure if you did expect. I know there's so much noise behind us here, and as the Mauritius team are very excited about this win here. And Jean, did you even think about getting all 3 points in this game?
Premièrement, on est dans une préparation avec une équipe de jeunes. On était là pour faire résultats positifs et c'était difficile avec un adversaire comme ça, très vif, très technique. Nous aussi, on était souvent en difficulté, mais on a pu tenir le match. Mais voilà, le résultat est positif pour nous, on est content. Voilà, je suis content.
Yes, we came in knowing that we are meeting a team that is technically strong, tactically as well. It wasn't an easy game, but we came with our own game plan, and we fought against them, and this is the results that we've obtained, a positive result.
Jean, well done, and congratulations. And obviously going forward, what else, where are the areas that you need to improve in as far as a team that you still, for you personally, that you think you can improve from?
Apporter des améliorations.
Comme j'ai dit, on est un groupe nouveau, très jeune. On prépare un tournoi qui va se faire en Madagascar après. Mais là, on est venu ici, on prend ça comme une préparation. Déjà, ça c'est bien un résultat positif aujourd'hui et voilà, on va essayer de s'améliorer match en match. Là, on a un prochain match contre le Mozambique, on va essayer de donner le meilleur et de faire ce que le coach a mis en place, son travail, pour qu'après, on progresse petit à petit. On est là pour faire la progression, mais voilà, c'est ça.
Firstly, we are a very young team, and we came in here. We are using this very team to prepare for other tournaments. We have a tournament that is upcoming, and but we'll be taking game by game and improving as we go further.
It looks like it's the trend in this tournament whereby the team that is least expected to win goes on to win or even get a good point.
Comment?
Ce tournoi, il y a beaucoup d'équipes surprises.
Enough. Ajin, thank you very much. We are running out of time, but once more, congratulations. And of course, coming up is the coach of Mauritius, who is over the moon in as far as the last result, a result that a lot of us didn't quite expect it will happen. Coach, you can't believe that you actually won all 3 points here. You still have a chance to play your third game and go to the semi-final stage.
Okay. Je t'avais dit que le football se joue sur le terrain. Et on a gagné, mais on a un potentiel. J'ai un groupe pour construire. Mais je dois féliciter mes joueurs d'abord, avec devant l'équipe angolaise. Et je suis très satisfait jusqu'à maintenant, depuis quand j'ai pris cette équipe.
What the coach is saying, so as he said before, football play on the pitch. We said it before. His objective is he's built a new team. He just arrived on the head coach. So we are in a construction, so we expect our players to play in progress, so we get the result today.
Coach, one more question is that for me. Where do you think you got it right?
Coach pense qu'il va dire une right.
D'abord, j'étais ancien joueur Sunrise. J'ai beaucoup appris avec un entraîneur en Maurice. C'était un grand entraîneur et c'est pour ça que je suis là.
So he's thinking about his formation. So he played to Mauritius, but he has the opportunity to have a very good coach. He learned a lot from him, so that's the result of the work.
Coach, thank you very much and all the best in the semi-finals. Oh,
Thank you very
should you win your last game?
Thank you very much.
And coming up, of course, is the coach of Angola and Mauritius, who probably is not too happy at all about the situation. But coach, regardless of the result, the team still play with a lot of intensity, but it's the final pass that didn't happen accordingly.
A equipa jogou de forma intensa, mas falhou no capítulo da finalização. O que é que se oferece a dizer em relação?
Olha, sempre temos mérito ao nosso adversário. É um jogo só com um sentido. Só a nossa equipa atacar durante os 90 minutos, mas o futebol é golo. E eles marcam um golo e ganham o jogo.
Yeah, it was a game that we have only one direction. We attack, but football you have to score. If you not score, you can't win.
Coach, unlucky today, but still I'm sure you can walk away with a lot of pride. The team played well, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. This is a young player, I said. We continue to work with him.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you very much, William Chongwithin, as we look at a huge result in Group C, the biggest result in Group C so far. Mauritius coming to the better of Angola, very much against the run of play, then a smash and grab, if you will, as we look forward to Mozambique taking on Lesotho. That will kick off at 6 in the evening.
Where are the other mics? Okay. Coach, let's just say one or two words just to make sure that they can hear you at the back.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3.